Today we are going to build a Perceptron neural network. Let's get started. The Perceptron is the simplest one-layer neural network. It consists of our inputs connected to one neuron arranged in a single layer via interconnected weights. This network works for linearly separable datasets, meaning that you can classify your dataset based on a linear line. The equation of this line is given by W0 plus W1x1 plus W2x2 equals 0. If the equation is bigger than 0, when filling in the x1 and x2 coordinates into the equation, then this particular data point will be represented by a triangle. If the equation is smaller than 0, the data point will be represented by a circle. The W vector represent the weights, whereas the x1 and x2 are the coordinates of a data point. If a data point is misclassified, we will recalculate all w's with following equation. The learning rate is either high, meaning fast convergence but possible overshooting, or slow, but less mistakes. If a misclassified data point belongs to the upper set, D should be 1. If it belongs to the lower set, it should be -1. Writing out all the equation for the newly calculated W0, W1 and W2. In these equations, x1 and x2 represent the coordinates of the misclassified data point. These coordinates are used to adjust the weights, so that the new decision boundary incorporates this misclassified point. Let's now consider following problem. Suppose we have a 2x4 input matrix and a 1x4 target vector. Each column represents a data point corresponding to a specific class, depicted in the target vector. So for example, the first data point with coordinates x1 equals 2 and x2 equals 2 belongs to the 0 class. Now we have to create, train and test the Perceptron network and visualize the data points with associated decision boundary. We ask ChatGPT, given the input matrix and target vector, to construct the Perceptron network in MATLAB with the hardlim as transfer function and learnp as learning rule. There should be 20 iterations, also the network should be initialized. After that, a new data point should be simulated by the network. ChatGPT had not included the P matrix and the T vector, we ask it to include this. Let's now switch over to MATLAB and paste and run the code. We can see that the new point is classified in the 0 class. Now we ask ChatGPT to visualize the data points with the new data point and the decision boundary. We add the visualization to the MATLAB code. Next, we add a grid and the decision boundary. Also, ChatGPT has wrongly assigned the classes to each point. We fix this. Now everything is looking good, the data points are classified correctly as well as the new data point, which has a green edge around it, it belongs to class 0. So we have created the Perceptron model by using the NUP function, which uses hardlim as a transfer function and learnp as a learning rule. So in the Perceptron each input is weighted with an appropriate weight W1, and then the summation of the weighted inputs is sent to the hard limit transfer function. The hard limit transfer function returns a 0 or 1. The net.trainPerm.epochs means that we will use 20 iterations. This for loop is used to make the plot. And finally the decision boundary is written as a function of x. If we solve our equation for the decision boundary for y equals x2, then we get the following expression. Note that the W0 is the bias term b. It represents the offset of the decision boundary from the origin. The value of the bias term is learned by the network during training. In MATLAB, the b is noted by net.b1, and W1 is noted by net.iw, 1, 1, 1 or 1, 2 for W2.